at a wonderful campground. And because I'm going to give you the date, I can't tell you where, but it's in North Florida. And you will love it. Everybody that's been there really loves it. So be sure and look on the Facebook page for that. I wish I could say where it is because it's so exciting. Anyway, this meetup is going to be a 3-day meetup. It's going to be May 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So we will be leaving on the trip on the 6th of May, westward bound. All right, that will give us a chance, a couple of full days to sit and talk about where we're going and how we're going to do the whole trip, get into some real details, and all the questions that you'd ever want to ask. We can get into the details there. It'll be a great way to kick off a wonderful trip. There is some electricity there. We've been there before as a group. It is in North Florida, not in the Ocala National Forest, or anyway, not near the land anyway. It's a different place. Some of you have never been there before. All right, at this meetup, we're going to share locations, which is the only really safe way to travel as a group. We're not going to, while it is a caravan, we're not going to follow each other. Now, we may meet each other on the road during the day, but it's really not safe to try to actually follow someone. It doesn't work anyway. I mean, first light or two that you come to, someone will get stuck, and then someone's gonna, I've seen people following me that actually ran red lights, so it's really dangerous. It doesn't last anyway. We're all going to end up at the same place every night. We will share locations so we can see each other if anybody gets into trouble. That'll be on Google Maps, and I'll show you how to do that when we get there. And then we will also have a group text so that we can stay together, and that will be for directions and questions and suggestions on where to go. Now, I know a lot of you, some of you anyway, probably want to have a firm itinerary. I keep hearing the word itinerary. That one word makes me shiver. Itineraries don't work on a long road trip. Now, 2 or 3 days we'll have lunch at a certain place at 11 a.m., meet somewhere at 4 o'clock. That doesn't work on this kind of a trip. This is more like being full-time. So some of you who are part-time, even if you go on a little bit of this trip, you're going to get to see what it's like to be more full-time. The freedom of it is amazing. We will know where we're going to go. I mean, we know the big places we're going to go. I mean, we could spend a lot of time in Utah, I'm sure. There are places in Colorado. Every state has something wonderful. I'm looking for fabulous mountains, scenic byways, canyons and gorges, and what else? Caves. We could explore some caves. We're kind of geological formations, the fabulous geological formations that are unforgettable. And when we get to some of the places out west, it's going to be like another planet. And if you haven't been out west yet, or some of you that have, you know that it's just like it's unreal. It's so awesome. And the reason, let me go back to itineraries. I tend to jump around, it's ADHD. But the reason an itinerary doesn't really work is because, let's say the next day you're going to Tallulah Gorge, okay? And then from there you're going someplace else. But the weather's bad there. So maybe you go a different way and you avoid a storm coming. Or you go someplace else because it's cooler. Or, the wind will push you. Or a new discovery, something wonderful you have to say, will pull you in another direction. So the weather and discoveries are going to change your path anyway. I will keep as close as I can to our 1 or 2 day itineraries so that those of you who want to join us along the way can get an idea of how close we're getting to you so that you can make plans to join us. And the only place I will post that will be online or to the group text that we're going to put together. All right, I got a few notes over here on my computer. You can probably see the reflection here. Sure wish I could tell you where that meetup is. By the way, this meetup, anybody can come to the meetups to see us off. I'm most of the time with a caravan. Not a lot of people start on the the first day of the caravan, but people will join all along the way. We've got people in many states that are saying that they want to join us. So if I start by myself, that's okay too. I traveled a year and a half completely by myself, and it was wonderful, awesome. So okay, we're going to have Google Maps location sharing. We're going to start a group text to stay together. And each day I will, and how we decide too, that's really important. On our first big caravan together, a lot of the ladies wanted to meet really early in the morning. And I know that doesn't work for everybody. So it makes a lot of sense to me to meet at night, to meet in the evening and firm up where we're going to be going the next day. So then we will send out a link so that you'll know where we're going to meet for the night. And then everybody kind of goes their own way. And each day, my plan is to travel on an average of 3 hours a day, because we're not in any hurry. And that will give you time to stop, eat, do whatever you've got to do, explore around, and just make it a much more relaxing trip. Now, there may be times where there's 4 hours between places that we want to stop for the night, so that can happen too. There may be times when the two locations are close together and we may only travel 1 hour. During the trip, there will be task days where we have to stop and do laundry and various errands that we need to run, groceries and that sort of thing. Now, on the groceries, if you haven't ever been on a trip before, if you're a little bit new to this, we got your back here. We stay together and we will carry you all the way. We will take care of you, don't worry. But one thing I could suggest is you do not need to stock up on food. You do not need to stock up on water. We don't need to carry 10 gallons of water and pay the gas for hauling all that. I can promise you, if you haven't been out across America before, there are stores. There are grocery stores and there are dollar stores, there are Walmarts all over America. So please don't feel like you've got to stock up on everything. The exception to that might be your medications. So you want to, if you can get like a little bit ahead on your medications, that's fine, but don't worry about that either, because I've seen a lot of people have their medications renewed or your prescriptions renewed at, say a Walmart or wherever you usually get them, because again, there are Walmarts and Walgreens and CVS all over this country. Okay, I know there's probably some questions, but let me get through my notes here first. Meeting each 3 hours a day. The goal as we go along is free overnight stays. And I'm not talking about stealth. I want us to be, now that would be rare. That would be in case of an emergency. But I would like to make this trip as inexpensive for each of you as we possibly can. Part of that is not driving as far every day. There are several reasons for that. It's much more relaxing, all those reasons. So we're not putting a lot of miles on each and every day. Staying in free places overnight. I'll give you an idea of some of the places. We can find them on iOverlander, and I still haven't gotten the new version of iOverlander. I really like the old version, but I guess we don't have much choice. There is the Dirt app, which is THE and then DYRT app. freecampsites.net, and there's some others. So there are a lot of places that we can look for free camping. But as we're going along, we're going from this location to that location, and we can just Google, Cracker Barrels for quite a ways. Truck stops, believe me, those are very nice. Truck stops, once in a while a Walmart if we really research it. I don't really trust Walmarts. They're not my preference. Cracker Barrels are fine. Truck stops, certain ones, not just any truck stop, but certain ones, particularly Flying J and Love's. Flying J particularly when they have a Denny's, because then it's like a Cracker Barrel. Has all the advantages of that, except it's safer because it's open all night. And as we get farther out west, and some even in the Midwest, I think, casinos. Now those are safe and secure because for one thing, there's a whole lot of money in there, so they've got security everywhere. There's one casino in particular that is a destination because of the scenery around. It's a beautiful casino, huge parking lot with where van lifers are very welcome. There are RVs, many of them there, and there is a short hike, the most amazing view, one of the more amazing views that we'll see, and some wildlife there too. So that'll be a nice stop. But that's when we get further out there. National Forest, we can find places to camp in National Forest. What we've done in the past to save money is we go to a campsite and we split the costs. Like when Ramona and I were at the Devil's Tower, it was a national forest, and with the senior pass, and if you don't have that yet and you're over, what is it, 55 or 65? If you can get the Senior America, the beautiful pass, it's $80 lifetime, and you get in free to national monuments and national parks, which we will be visiting, and you get half off on camping. So say like for Devil's Tower, it was $20. We split. I mean, we got it for half price, which was $10. Then Ramona and I split it. It was $5. Now that's a deal. So that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. I don't want this to cost you a lot, or me. Now, if you need to get a hookup and you want to pay for a campground, you're certainly welcome to do that along the way. If you're in a bigger rig where you have to plug in and you don't have, or you don't have solar. Don't plan on stealth camping. I don't believe in it. I don't like being someplace where I'm not welcome, and particularly if we have a good sized group, even 2 or 3 of us, it's not that easy to do stealth camping. Besides, you're there all night. They know you're there. So don't worry about stealth camping. Cracker Barrel's truck stops, BLM land. I know a spot already I want to go. It's a little bit south of Sedona. It's a Forest Service road, free camping, amazing. Let's see, and if we get stuck, what we've done in the past, I've actually called the local police department, or even a chamber of commerce sometimes, and ask them where we can stay for free. And all along, especially the Route 1 road trip, they just people thought what we were doing was really neat. In Fort Kent, Maine, we got to spend the night at the fire station before we took off the next day on the Route 1 2,500-mile road trip. And again, on the weather, that's a big part of what we're going to do. We want to find the nice, cool weather, which a lot of times will be elevation. And we're not going to be coming back. I don't know what part of the trip you want to go on. I hope you want to go on the whole thing, because how amazing that is. From May the 6th, when we actually take off from the group meetup, from May the 6th to sometime maybe in November. And see, there again, you can't plan, because this last year we had to kind of wait up north for the hurricanes to go away. So weather is a real factor. And each state that we go to, we have to, it's a good idea to research the laws in the state for rest areas and welcome centers, because those are very nice. In a lot of states, you're invited to stay there. They don't want you on the road when you're tired. So those are another option. There are many options out there, and if we have to, we'll get a campground. But I'm hoping for places that will let us stay to a site. And I've negotiated that with quite a few campgrounds where they don't normally do that. But if we have, say, 4 people or more, then we can negotiate like a group rate, and the smaller rigs can do to a campsite to save money. It's all about saving money. Okay, I think I've done all of mine. I'm going to try something different here. Instead of punching this thing, trying to read. Let's see. No, I couldn't get on that. I was trying to go on a phone and see if I could find your question. So I'm going to go back. Okay, Matt's mostly saying hi right there. I'm sorry for this. This is the way it goes. Hello. When are we discussing? Okay, you probably heard we're already doing that. I'm going way back, sorry. So looking forward to joining up with you later in May. Saying hello to everybody. April, okay. Oh, you're going to a meetup in April. Yeah, that's before we leave. Starting May 3rd from Florida. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot more detail than this, and I'm hoping a lot of you can make it to the meetup in North Florida. If some of you came in late, I'll mention that again. We're going to do the kickoff in North Florida at a wonderful campground. And it's going to be, you don't have to come to the meetup to be on the tour at all. Dry throat. And if you're not going on the road trip, you can still come to the meetup. Everybody's invited to the meetup there. I hope there's plenty of space there. So that's the meetup is optional, but if you're going to be going on the road trip, it'd be nice to be able to really get into some details there. And I want to hear all your thoughts, which is not that easy to do on a chat like this. So everybody's welcome to that, but it's not required. Okay. Yes, Sedona. What a beautiful place that is. Sedona and the road between Sedona and Flagstaff. We're going to have some challenging roads. So, yeah, if you're white knuckle, it's good for you. You're gonna be even braver after this if you haven't been on those white knuckle mountain roads. You're going to love it. I did one of them by accident at night. By accident, one of those hair-raising roads. Had it been daylight, of course it was totally black. There were no streetlights out there. It was absolutely crazy. It was completely by accident. I don't even usually drive at night, but I survived. And in the morning, it was the most awesome trip back to where I came from. So anyway, that was near Sedona. And of course, this time I really hope to get to see the Grand Canyon. Now, if we're planning, say the night before, we're actually planning where we're going to go the next day. And I'll tell you a couple of circumstances. Let's say one woman, we got 3 different ideas on where to go the next day. So what do? Well, we're in no hurry. Let's go to all 3 of them. Or if they're all on the way, some will go here and some will go there. It's very flexible. You're going to be as free as a butterfly. This is the most relaxing kind of a road trip you could possibly imagine. I can almost guarantee that. And we're there for each other. It feels safe. It feels comfortable. You'll have fun with each other. And we're going to try to keep the expenses down. A general idea of the route. Well, I know there's things that I want to see. And I do not want to go on I-10 if I can possibly get away with it, because I've done that too many times. And no, I don't have a general idea of the route. I just know exactly where we're going to be going. I want to get out west as quickly as possible. But several people, but I'm not going to just drive straight out there. We're going to see some beautiful things along the way. Maybe a few things in Georgia. There's some caves in Florida that a lot of people don't know about, and that's probably stop number 1. And then I'm thinking not going straight up to Georgia, but taking a left sort of and heading diagonally out west. So we're going to find some things in Alabama. There are beautiful things in every single state. It's not a problem finding wonderful places and even free places to stay. So we will go as we go along, and you won't feel like it's you won't be intimidated by that once you try it, because you'll know a few days ahead of time where we're going to be. It's not like you just take off in the morning and just go. We will know. We will have it planned. We'll have all the stops planned. Not all the stops. I mean, we'll have several days planned. But things can change. That's what I really want to emphasize. If you're on a trip this long, it is that you can't really have an exact itinerary except for maybe just a few days ahead. Things will change. Weather will change. You'll find discoveries that you want to stay a little longer or go a little bit different way, because everybody's going to be, looking into things we used to sit around the table and everybody'd be on their phone kind of researching what's around, and it just makes it more fun that way. We will just, it's like a treasure hunt. We're going to be discovering things all along the way, and we're looking for good weather. We're just hoping for that. We may, we might think we're going to Sedona, but it's too hot there, so we got to go a different direction to see where it's cooler. But there are beautiful places everywhere. There are places to stay everywhere. There are wonderful people all across America. That's something, if you haven't been out there traveling, you're gonna find out. Okay, let's see who else here. A lot of ladies have Planet Fitness membership. Are there enough facilities where we'll be going to warrant getting one? I would say that I think it's a good idea to have Planet Fitness. If you can't afford Planet Fitness, you can go as my guest. We usually have quite a few people that have it. We may run out of guest spots, or if we don't have enough people that have it, it's a good idea, if you can get it, to go ahead and get a Planet Fitness. Truck stops are kind of expensive. They're very, very nice. It doesn't sound nice if you've never been there, but they're as nice. Truck stop bathrooms or showers are as nice as the hotel. They supply the towels for you, and they're nice tiled. They look like a nice hotel. So don't be afraid of truck stops. They're kind of fun to explore. They have massage chairs and TV rooms and all kinds of things for they're trying to attract truckers who spend a lot of money there. So they're trying to make it nice for them. So that's up to you if you want to get a Planet Fitness, but just know we would hope that we'd have somebody that could take you as a guest. Then again, when we were in Texas on the Quartzsite trip, there were, I don't know, 6 or more of us, maybe 8. I'm not sure how many, but quite a few of us on that caravan to Quartzsite in January recently. And we were all going to get showers in Fort Stockton at a Love's, which would have been fine, but it would have been about maybe $18. They vary, maybe $12 to $18, something like that. But we found a campsite there, an actual RV campground that would allow us, because we were grouped, to go to a campsite, and it was $17.50 to be at the campsite where there were electric hookups, and there was laundry facilities and showers, all of that there for $17.50. So those are the kind of deals that we look for. And we won't be taking the same route back that we go out west. Let's say we've gone through Utah. You could spend a whole lot of time in Utah. So that's up in the air too. I mean, we could spend a month there, or longer. And let's say it gets, I don't know, hot there or too cold or whatever it is, and we decide to go to Oregon or Washington State. A lot of beautiful things out there too, and Idaho, so much out that way. Or let's say there are fires, we can turn around and go the other direction. So we're just going to make it a pleasant trip all the way along, researching as we go. The start is in North Florida. I don't want to say the location because I already gave the date. You probably already heard me. I'm way back here, way back. Sorry about that. How long of a trip? Well, this is my trip. It's your trip too, because you help decide where we go. Believe me, every day I am open to wherever you want to go. Well, almost. We keep it to the theme. I'm very, 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 very flexible and open to suggestions. So it's not just my trip, but the caravan is from May the 6th is when we're actually leaving after the meetup. May the 6th to sometime in late October or November, depending on, again, weather, like hurricanes. In a Prius, yes, we had someone in a Prius last year, and she did great. Joining early June, great. Link to the trip's Facebook page. Yes, there is. If you are on you have to be a member of the Butterfly Tribe Women Who Camp First, because this is a public chat. And you do have to be a member of that Facebook page first. And then once you're on there, you can ask a question, or you can go to the events tab and you have to scroll down. We got a lot of events going on, lots and lots. So you have to scroll, looking for May. You have to load more. You may have to put load more twice because there are so many meetups there. But you will find the Red Rock Roadtrip there. And if there isn't yet, I'll make sure that there is a link to the road trip Facebook page, which you will need to join that too if you're going to go. Arkansas. Oh, yes, I know a lot of people. It's my dream too. I've been there too, and it's still my dream. I want to talk to those redwood trees again. Maybe we'll see. Weather, fires, who knows? Your first trip? Oh, you're going to love it. I love to watch new people on their first trip. We'd like to meet up in the middle of your trip. How would we do that? I be on the Facebook page, and I will be putting our locations there. And so you can see when we're coming toward you. And, you know, because, well, we've already gone through all that. But you'll see when we're getting near you, and that's when you can put a message on there, and we'll talk about you joining the group. What date will be in Sedona? Don't know. Yeah, too many variables. You've probably already heard me say that. I'm sorry, but I am going back. I want to get most of your questions in here. May 17th. Yeah, whatever your schedule is, you know, just keep an eye on the Facebook page and join us when you can. No, I have a dog. I've always had a dog traveling. I have no issues with pets. As if it's as long as it's a friendly pet, you know, we don't want any dog fights or any issues there. But I'm sure you have a lovely pet. Pets are absolutely welcome. I'm not sure if we're coming I-40. Kind of depends on what we want to see, because I don't want to take the same route out as we do back to Florida. We will start and end in Florida. I don't mind putting people on the group text if you're not going to join till later. That's perfectly fine. When we get to the meetup dates, I will give out information on the Facebook page, how to send me your phone number so we can put you on the group text if you want to do that. Be aware that you might be getting all kinds of notifications about it. And so if you're good with that, that's fine. Yeah, I'm not happy with I-10 either. Caves in Nevada. Oh yeah. Again, I'm sorry, these are old questions, but the actual kickoff of the caravan itself is on May the 6th, leaving North Florida. But before that, we have a meetup. Jackrabbit, no, Jackrabbit was getting kind of full. So if we have people that aren't coming with us, besides, it's a little too far east for me. I want to start heading west. There's so much to see out there. And, you know, it sounded like it was getting too full for several of us to join. So, no. We're having our own little meetup right there at this very special campground, which I cannot tell you about here because I gave the date. The site to get the information for this is you need to be a member of the Butterfly Tribe Women Who Camp on Facebook. And then after that, you can either ask the question or go to events and find the Red Rock Roadtrip Facebook page, separate Facebook page, but related. Yes, Planet Fitness. Truck stops are awesome. Yes. Yeah, truck stops. Extra vouchers. Yes, I think that's funny. Oh, what's her name? Her dog's name is Camper, and I can't think her name. Anyway, she started out in a Prius, and she loves her truck stops and taking showers there. And she said that you can ask the truckers for their vouchers for a free shower. Well, isn't that nice? But you should be really careful how you ask for it. You can't just walk up some big burly man and say, "Hey, can you give me a shower?" No, no, we'll find out different ways to do that. But yeah, free showers, if you ask right, yeah, they usually have a stack of them. So yeah, there are free showers. Well, yeah, I hope you can catch up. Keep, if you're not on yet, you want to be on the group text, I'm fine with putting you on there. Uh, uh, uh. Men welcome to join a button. Nope, nope, sorry, nope, nope, nope. No men and unfortunately no kids either, because it's not that we get rowdy or anything, or no locker room talk here or anything like that, but it's just no men, no kids. That's the way it is. Sorry. Um, it's always been that way, and everybody seems to appreciate it. Oh, good. Electric vehicles, yes. Um, yeah, I had thought about starting again at the Jackrabbit meetup, but according to Debbie Jean, it's getting pretty full. I'm not sure if there are any sites even left there. How much money to cover expenses? I try very hard to save us all money because I like to save money too. So we're not going to pay for a lot of camping. I guess gas is your biggest expense. And when we go in to say a Cracker Barrel and a bunch of people are going in, don't feel bad if you want to cook or have a sandwich in your car. You know, you can spend it. Your biggest expense will probably be your gas if you're trying to save money. That's my best advice there. But yeah, see, I don't have expenses. I'm full time. I don't have rent. I don't have utilities. The only insurance I have is on my car. I don't have a car payment. So I know, lucky me. I'm sorry. I can't tell you about expenses. We try to save money every which way we can. That's all I can tell you is I am adamant about trying to save money and make this as cheap as we can for you. It's the overnight stays that would really add up. But if you plan on just eating in your vehicle, you can do this pretty cheaply because we're not going to put a lot of miles on every day. And there'll be days where we don't travel every day, especially if we can find a nice place to stay really cheap. uh, no, not going to come back the same way, probably. Now, I mean, when you have things like storms and fires, you can't, those are things you can't predict. But my plan is to come back a different direction from the way that I go. I hope you can be a part of this trip. Nikki Daventhal, yes, 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 thank you. Yeah, she has a great YouTube channel. Uh, Jerome, yes. Was that Nevada? I think that was Nevada. Oh, I couldn't get out of the car in Jerome because at that time I didn't realize how. Oh, here's another thing I need to tell you about. I didn't realize when I was in Jerome, this was my very first year going out west. I was all by myself. I didn't know why I was getting dizzy a lot. I was getting dizzy, and it really enhanced a fear of, well, not just heights, a fear of falling. But what I realized later, and what I know now, is that I was dehydrated, and probably my electrolytes were off, and so I couldn't even get out of the car in Jerome because it's Jerome is built on the side of a cliff with huge vistas. I mean, well, hopefully you'll see that someday. I love Jerome, but I couldn't get out of the car. So I want you all to try to stay hydrated. I know, when you're traveling, you even subconsciously, you don't drink as much as you should because you won't want to have to stop and pee, right? So all the way along, you have to be aware of 2 tanks. 2. You have to make sure you don't want to get down to a quarter of a tank of gas when you're driving out there. You want to keep that tank full. And the other tank, you want to make sure your bladder is empty. 1 tank full, 1 tank empty. Members of Silver Sneakers. Yeah, I think that gives you a discount at Planet Fitness. There are YMCAs. There are other kinds of fitness places. But I think Planet Fitness has the most coverage. If you can, I think it's a good idea to have Planet Fitness. dates, again, we're going to discuss that on the page. Definitely launch on May the 6th from North Florida. Yes, yes, you're welcome. We are saving as much as we possibly can. It makes it more fun, and you save it for the big things. I mean, when I was traveling with Ramona, she went on a horseback ride that I wasn't sure I could do physically, but it was kind of expensive, so I didn't go on that one. But we went on a boat trip, a tour of pictured rocks in Lake Huron. And there's a train ride, to see some of the red rocks. There are all kinds of events like that. You can either participate or not. But I don't have a goal of spending money on things like that. Mostly free places. There are so many free places. Oh my goodness. Awesome places. Tear-inducing, like we said. Okay. That's true. Very good, Kim. If you get a Planet Fitness, get it at your home so you can deal with them there. I got it in another place in Florida, and it's not caused any big problems. But yeah, you're better off that way, getting it near your home. How far west are you planning to go? Weather and fires could affect that. I'd like to go all the way to the Pacific coast. Oh my God, 6 months. You got plenty of time. Let me tell you about 2024 briefly. I knew this is kind of how this goes. I knew I was going to Upper Michigan. Okay, but then when I got there, I didn't know if I was turning left or right. It would depend on, again, the weather. Well, last year, when we got to Upper Michigan, it just happened that Maine, of all things, was too hot. They actually had kind of a heat wave through there, so we went left. Had there been fires out in California, we would have gone right. So what we ended up doing, we went up, this may be backwards for you, I'm not sure how this goes, but anyway, we went up Upper Michigan, went over to Idaho. Then we had plenty of time left, and it was nice and cool in Maine then, so we went back we went over the Great Lakes, and then on the way back we went under the Great Lakes, all the way to Maine, New Hampshire, and then we waited in New York and Pennsylvania for the hurricanes to go away to see which way we could come back. We ended up, instead of going 75, which would have been more direct for us, we went all the way to the coast because we were avoiding damages. So that's an example. That was an extreme example of how things can change on a road trip. Hopefully it won't be like that, but definitely a different road back. Boat ride, it was a beautiful video. Oh, thank you. Yeah, you can hardly go west without going through Texas at some point. I do this every year. I've been full-time van life for 3 years, and so this is my third big road trip. May call your local Planet Fitness to see if they accept silver sneakers. Yes, and all the way along we're going to find all kinds of things, and we're going to do it together. Do we have any more questions? I didn't want this to go too terribly long. Anybody, any other questions? I'm not seeing any come up, but then again, I'm not so good at this. I don't do it too often. Okay, no other questions? Then we will call it a night, and we'll be talking on the Facebook page. I hope that gave you some basis to understand how easy this is going to be. I know if you haven't done this before. Oh, hi, Lindy. I'm sorry you joined late, but this will be available for review again on replay on my channel. Thanks, everybody, for joining, and I can't wait. This is going to be so much fun. This is going to be the best one yet. This is definitely going to be beautiful. I've got a lot of places in mind, and some of you will have some places, and we're going to have a great time. Thank you, everybody. Now I'm going to attempt to close this out without being too embarrassed. Your first, CC Nightingale. Yay! This is going to be so much fun. Okay, good night, everybody. See you next time. Bye.